Uduasha city, where the sun is a mirror and the moon a shadow. 800 years ago, the gates of death were broken by the Emperor Immortal. The 5 key-bearers, however, had already unlocked them and walked right through. It is in Uduasha city they dwell. Now, the ghost field breathes next to our reality, lit by the eternal flame of the well of Udu. It is a second skin, a place where thought and will struggle against gravity and light. In other places, the dead congregate in the ghost field, but in Uduasha, the well city, the hell city, they fall straight into the flames. See its glittering districts: Kshitijpur, where the rich plot to buy the horizon; Bunda West, where the refugees of 2 different nations flock; and Pasarhandu, the vertical maze of market and murder. And here is Udepat, where the ceaseless temple resides. Its inhabitants, a family, a snake, and a god. The temple has stood since before the gods of this world were forgotten. Watch as it turns the wheels of revolution. Welcome to Desperate Attune, an actual play podcast about people who take risks so they can survive against the odds. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Candle Ablaze, our Blades in the Dark campaign set in Uduasha. I'm Tree, and with me are only 3 of my players this week. Say hi, Zoheb.
That's not a hi.
That was like a series of sounds. Okay, that's a hi. Great, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What?
I didn't know what happened there.
I was in the middle of sweeping my floor, and then my broom dropped. Just as you told me to say hi.
It is so important that none of us ever live stream anything, because it's just going to be 4 or 5 like empty chairs and like all of us walking around.
Mm-hmm.
Say hi, Prince.
Hello. I do not have a broom.
And Aadiyat, I invite you not only to greet us, but also tell us about your broom status.
Hello everyone, and my broom is actually missing, so I can't make broom noises.
Oh,
What do you mean your broom is missing? What does that mean? What?
I don't know where it is.
Broom thieves.
because when I looked around the corner of the room where it normally is, like tucked behind the doorway, and it's not there, so it's temporarily missing. I'll find it, and I'll have a broom again, and I'll make sure that it's here for next session.
Good, because we need it.
Yeah.
Without it, we are not ourselves. I don't think we should do this, but it would be very funny if we got Emma to say hi and then just edited that into this, and then she says nothing else the rest of the session because she's not here. So if that happens,
I'll make a note of that. That's definitely going to get added into this recording. Which
I don't know why I set myself up like this.
Which Prince is going to edit, so I'm going to make sure it happens. Damn.
Great.
Okay, bye.
Fantastic.
Hi.
Incredible. Okay, fantastic. Hi, everybody. Last session, the crew finally carried out a rescue mission for their wayward ward, Freya. Freya, of course, had been looking into the very clandestine and certainly circumspect actions of one Munna, known to some as Mr. Peter Samhorse, known to others, by the way, by names such as the Jackal Thief, Hall the Philosopher Prince, and the Organ Donor. I don't know why he's called this. I just decided that he should have several ridiculous names. So here are some more of his monikers, all of which got published on the front page of Uduasha's newest underground newspaper.
What's it called?
I was going to ask Aadiyat what it was called, actually.
Oh no, I haven't thought of a name. What could it be called?
It's called The Candle Ablaze.
I mean, why not?
Are you sure you want to call it that? Because all I'm saying is, if it's called A Candle Ablaze, then people are definitely going to be reading it going, but this newspaper's not on fire. Is this meant to be some kind of political commentary?
And it's not telling me about the latest candles. Like, where are the candle reviews?
Yes, exactly.
It's meant to be the thing you put inside the Molotov cocktail.
Indeed. So the newspaper released some very damning details about Munna, about his enterprise, which spans all of the Shattered Isles, but which Freya's specific investigation kind of broke mostly, I suspect, into his Iruvian operations, which is bad enough, right? You don't need to wreck all of Lockheed Martin to send Lockheed Martin into a tailspin. That's an aerospace engineering joke for the listener. And I think that as a result, he is in crisis mode. You did send his lawyer back to him, which has been useful, but on the other hand, the reason he's in trouble is that the lawyer wasn't there. While you did this, you used this as a distraction in order to go into the most powerful and old hotel in Udawasha, where a certain Akarothi dignitary by the name of Lord Scarlock was staying, because he intended to conduct some kind of ritual using Freya, using an artifact that you had, sold off, that you'd retrieved from the Kingfisher Grotto, in order to empower himself in some way. Instead, you mostly blew him up, which is impressive. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. But loads of things went wrong. I think the most important thing that went wrong is that Miraz ended up kissing someone who is not his wife. And I'm afraid that, that's going to have severe consequences potentially for everyone in Udawasha.
It's just what his character would do.
Yeah, indeed. That's what I look forward to you saying that to your wife. But of course, that's not the only thing that happened. Joan tried, successfully got into Scarlock's suite, but was blown up by the fireball and ended up melding with it in some arcane and weird way. Vickers and Abbas were instrumental in ensuring that the distraction and so on went well. And someone whom we didn't see because he is such an excellent thief is that Miraz's gentleman friend who came along with you, Keshiar, did actually make off with quite a big score, but he's just a very good thief, and distractions help everyone who's trying to get away unnoticed, so it helped him too. And I think we cut back in on the lobby of this hotel where all hell is broken loose. Two spirit wardens have teleported into Lord Scarlock's suite. There is clearly been an explosion in the distance. There is a lot of panic going around. But perhaps most importantly, Miraz, you have to hold yourself accountable. We did give these people names, by the way. I'm just going to look them up. Karishma was the person you kissed, and her partner was called Oindrila. And Oindrila and Vickers have both seen the betrayal. It's going to be tricky.
Yeah, so I want to point out that this happened, and then Miraz tinkered with the elevator, so it wasn't...
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
Miraz tinkered... I didn't mention everything that happened, mostly because there's so much stuff happened. He did tinker with the elevator. Freya briefly went into the future. Everyday stuff.
Yes. I just want to set the scene a little bit. So when we left off, Miraz has returned from tinkering with the elevator. And where is Charisma? The reason I'm setting this up is she smuggled him into wherever he could mess with the elevator. So. Okay,
so I think she is right now. She knew that this dashing pirate had some kind of sister who had gone missing, right? And she was willing to be involved and so on. So I think she is on the lookout for anything suspicious, such as an explosion, and she is actually heading towards trying to organize a response, but also she thinks that it's her responsibility to make sure that the response, whatever it is, also keeps an eye out for a young woman who may have been secretly kidnapped into the hotel.
Okay, so Charisma is leaving the scene as I arrive. Just
Probably, yeah. I think like the way that I'd imagined it before the explosion was that they were like caught red-handed. Oh no! But now that has been an explosion, and she doesn't know that she's been caught red-handed, so she doesn't think she needs to. So she's just acting as she would. Oindrila, on the other hand, is coming with you, and you definitely have someone by your side who knows the hotel very well. Is in a position of like power, all of this stuff. So yeah.
So Vickers will walk in. I think in all of this chaos that has emerged, like there was an explosion, people are panicking. I think we see Vickers pass through the crowd towards Miraz and Charisma. And the reason why Charisma gets cornered is that Vickers is, as she does, organizing people to safely evacuate as she does this.
Yes.
So like she's striding towards them and just kind of handing out orders left and right.
Yes.
And just telling people to get doing things, and then she will stop before Miraz and Charisma, and she will say, "Well, I'm not completely certain what just happened here, but I think we need to talk about it." And she will say, kind of sternly, in the middle of everyone being like, "Oh no, there is a fire on the top floor."
Yeah, I think Oindrila does not. She's not as conscientious, by the way. I think like she's good at her job and stuff. Like she's like the front of like office or whatever. She's the person, the maitre d' at the restaurant. But the restaurant can take care of itself. Her love life is much more important, and she's like heartbroken and angry all at once.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on either. We have to get out of here. Did you hear that explosion?
What's going on? Sorry, I have to figure out how I'm going to do two different voices for the two different women. So I am now going to assert that Oindrila is so shocked and heartbroken that she's not able to like really get any words out. So Karishma just says, "What? No, we can't leave. Your sister is she may be Oh, Oindrila.
I've taken care of that, or rather, Uncle Abbas has, who, by the way, has been left alone in the restaurant this whole time." I'm going to guilt trip Miraz with that for some reason.
Right. I bet yes. I think we can afford his dessert bill. Let's just go take care of that right now. And Miraz is like looking for any excuse to get out of this hotel where there has been a big explosion. And so out of character, it has been almost a month since we last played, and I don't remember if I caused the explosion or what my role in.
You did not. Okay, what happened is that you fiddled with the dumbwaiter in order to put a candle which Abbas had done his ritual on.
Right.
And you knew that elevator was going to go up into Lord Scarlock's room. What Joan did was ensure that the timing on distracting Lord Scarlock and so on worked well, so that when the locker opened and it exploded, both Joan and Freya were able to get away. I mean, it was a bad roll. You didn't get away clean, but it happened, right? But the explosion actually was done in a very... Not many people can really tie it directly to you, the pirates.
Right.
And you are all pretending to be pirates.
Yes. I'm currently a pirate who's very concerned about his pirate uncle racking up a huge unpayable bill. Yeah.
Yes.
As pirates do. But I'm also looking to get out of here because, I'm assured that Freya has been rescued, but I don't know, this was already like, biting off more than we can chew, and now it seems like the thing to do is get out of Dodge.
Yeah, which is of course why I need to have this conversation now, because it's really dumb, but I think it's...
No. I think he thinks that you are also, trying to get out of here. I think he's not even thinking about what he's done.
Yes, Vickers has just dropped her character at this point. I think she's forgotten that she was supposed to be in character at all. She just says like, you really haven't been yourself lately. There's been so much strange action going on. It isn't like you to abandon Uncle Abbas in the restaurant.
It's what Dr. Danger would do. He leans in and whispers.
Yeah.
Are you leaning in towards the woman who is currently heartbroken and sad that you kissed her wife or girlfriend or partner? It's very unclear.
Yes. And I think Vickers looks confused. He goes, "Oh, Dr. Danger. Yes, of course. And were you being Dr. Danger when you were talking to those children about the temple as well?" Because you had this moment as the shrine builder where you were giving
Yes.
people instructions like some time
Yeah.
ago.
Sorry,
Yeah.
what? He says.
Yeah.
Vickers, we don't have time to talk about children right now. We have to go get Uncle Abbas and get the hell out of here right now. Freya's all right? You're sure about that, right? We can't be here anymore.
Well, I'm sure Joan has it in hand. All right, we'll leave, but we really ought to talk. You've been behaving really strangely lately. And who is this? Why did you kiss this woman anyway? That wasn't part of any plan, as far as I know.
So what is going to happen now, because I
Uh-huh.
rolled a 4, is that both women are going to realize at the same time that something's going on.
Yeah.
But one of them is going to misunderstand in the worst way, and then one of them is going to misunderstand in even more the worst way, which is to say that Karishma is going to look at you and say, is she part of the plot as well? And then like stand in front of you and say, stand back, foul woman! You will not lay a hand on the love of my life, nor his sister. And then the other one is going to be like, what the? Is this some weird role play? What is going... Karishma, what is going on? Are you breaking up with me?
I think Vickers say, oh dear, I think whatever you have, Miras, it's contagious. Look, now these women are confused about who they are too. This is really worrying me.
I mean,
Sorry.
yeah. But
Dr. Danger, smoke bomb, go! And he just drops the smoke bomb, and he's going to try to grab Vickers, and the two of us are going to run away.
seems like...
If Vickers wants to be run away with, of course.
Yes, sure. I will go ahead with deploying the smoke bomb.
Yeah, you must roll. You will get away, but you are in a desperate position.
That's fair.
For so many reasons, including there's a fire upstairs and you're deploying a smoke bomb. But I mean, you know. And I think right now, so what is your goal, to get away, like out of the hotel before anyone notices, or is your goal to get out of the immediate vicinity of these two women?
To get out of this situation right now, this specific situation. with
Okay,
these women,
yeah.
And I would say it's, I mean, there is a fire in the hotel, but it's way beyond, away from us.
Oh yeah, sure, but like everybody's on high alert.
Yeah, that's fair. But like, I see that as like,
Oh no, the other reason that it is desperate is that you have two very emotionally involved women who will misunderstand you in the worst way. So like it's possible that like, yeah, so in my mind the reason that it's desperate is that like you may have like someone coming to the temple trying to track you down, that kind of thing. So it's like long-term
Okay.
consequences.
All right.
And you're wrecking. Like if you were swaying or prowling, you would be in a better position. But wreck is, you know, you're gonna definitely...
Well, the point here is to distract and confuse them. That's why I'm dropping a smoke bomb. It's less about like covering or escape, and more like just about like, you know.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I think I will assist you and
Oh my god. The most...
because I think you're confusing me as well, and I think it makes sense. So take a bonus dice. I spent my last stress.
Fair enough. I'm going to canonically establish that while
Mhm.
Dr. Danger is not an aspect of the Shrine Builder, I think being Shrine Builder has also made Miraz more
Oh my
susceptible
God.
to being Dr. Danger amongst other people.
Yes. Yeah. You're having an identity crisis. I get it.
Oh, you rolled.
Oh, wow. Oh, you had a Devil's Bargain. I already rolled, but like if you...
For this specific roll, I'm gonna give you this bargain anyway. And if you want, you can take it. See, the thing is that Freya has been rescued and she's elsewhere and so on. But there is the attention of a demon that is specifically interested in confusion, deception, trickery in this place. And also, Freya is also your character, so I don't feel like I'm taking away the agency there. So if you want to take that clock one last time, complete it, manifest the elephant in the room in the hotel in some like real meaningful way, then you could have another die. The reason I say this is you should tell the listeners what you just rolled on your desperate action.
Oh, that was a 1, a 2, and a 3. 1, 2, 3. Ha ha ha.
Great. Yeah, it's a straight. It doesn't mean anything, but it's a straight.
Yeah, that's nice. I think I'm going to accept this Devil's Bargain, largely because we've been building up the elephant in the room / the void for months now.
Yeah,
I mean, you might as well see it happen.
very fair.
So I will accept this bargain, and I will roll an extra d6. which is a 1.
You know, I think that it's really useful that Vickers is passed out
Yeah.
because she does not see what you see now.
Oh, I'm not passed out, to be clear. The trauma is not like, I don't think Vickers faints in the scene. That doesn't make any sense. I'm just
okay.
very confused
Sure.
and unable to like take
Okay.
any action.
Well, unfortunately, this is just going to confuse you more.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because what is going to happen here, I think, is you throw the smoke bomb down, and all you want to do is get away from like the immediate surroundings. But instead, you get away from the hotel, you get away from Kshitijpur, you find yourself in Udaipur, no problem. Because there are reports of 2 people riding a massive winged elephant over the horizon of Uduasha, while Kshitijpur is, traveling around the city for days. And the reason for this, of course, is that the elephant has stepped in, it's rescued you, it's going to make sure that, like, you know, you'll be fine.
Wait, so we are
and I think-
riding out of the hotel on a time-traveling elephant. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I want to be clear here. Your desperate consequence is you are riding out of the hotel on a massive elephant that is, for one reason or another, now like intricately bound to you, and not in a nice way. But you've gotten away, no problem.
Hmm.
And I think that, like,
I would like to resist the consequence.
good. Then you should resist this before I speak on behalf of the elephant.
Yes.
Whose name is Margatroyd.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes.
You would like to resist this consequence? Why? Right. Well, why
To
would you
not
not
be
want this to
bound to a
happen?
time-traveling elephant is the answer.
The elephant has manifested. It has helped us out. We're still going to have some sort of consequence left, but you know, I mean, I've got enough problems.
Mm.
This is fair. This is very fair. Yeah.
I
I will say that this seems like a resolve because it's, you know, straightforwardly like some kind of arcane consequence. So resolve is like makes the most sense in terms of resistance.
The way I'm going to resist this is that I mean, I'm not resisting it actively, but some of my as the elephant flies around through space and time, and we have like a big old magical adventure. We're going to spend less time doing that because actually some of that time is going to get taken up by some shrine builders.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I will have fewer shrine builders I can be, which is so like I don't know, infinity -7.
Sure, but I do think what this also means is first you tell us what you rolled, by the way, and then I'll tell you
It's a
what
resolve,
the resistance also looks like.
and I rolled a 5.
Nice. So that's only 1 stress.
Mhm.
I think what you've done is irreversibly introduced the influence of this demon into the lineage of the Shrine Builder. Let's be real, the lineage of the Shrine Builder appears to be like truly majestic and like awesome in the like it fills you full of awe kind of way. Maybe you like a future version of you like just manages to do like all kinds of things with this influence. It's not necessarily a totally bad thing for that person. But for you, it's still gonna be tricky. And I think that Miraz, something like deep in your soul realizes this. You feel like somebody is patting you on the head with what is a trunk, but I don't know that you've ever seen an elephant, so I don't know that you know that it is a trunk. And it says to both you and to Vickers, oh man, I gotta do a voice for the elephant. I really like flying. There is nothing like it. We should do this again sometime.
An excellent idea. There is a way to fly that this one is very keen upon. Perhaps we can collaborate and have him fly and meet you there once more.
And the elephant trumpets. Everyone, by the way, in the vicinity who is like attuned to the ghost field hears this and gets freaked out. And then, yeah, vanishes. And at that same moment, wherever you are, Freya, you feel like a shadow on your soul has been lifted. But in the way that implies that the thing that was casting the shadow has moved closer to you. Whatever that means. Abbas? You're sitting in the restaurant.
Yeah.
You're hanging out. You're eating dessert.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
It's been a good day.
Yeah. Your nephew has. I think you have, by the way, a very good view of this. Because I want you to. I think you are sitting next to some of those really big French windows, right?
Sure.
And you can through the windows see very clearly what is happening, which is a little altercation, a look of confusion on everyone's face, and then Miraz takes the decision to throw a smoke bomb on an elephant constructed out of smoke, ? Deposits the two of them on its back and flies away.
But on the other hand, you have Shahi Tukra.
Yes, I don't lie. Never Miraz again. I feel like this is not the first time the two of them have gone out somewhere and Miraz has just snuck away.
No, and it won't be the last. And to be honest, this time, you have just pretended to recover from pretending to have suffered some kind of food poisoning, right? You were making a huge hue and cry about this. So the reason you're getting very good service is that everybody's oh my god, we better make sure he doesn't complain about us.
Yes, I know very good lawyers.
Good. I want to add a detail to our appearing in front of the temple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Vickers has seen some things that she does not understand. She is incredibly confused about this, but we have established that she too has future and past incarnations.
Yes.
And so when we appear outside of the temple, Vickers will be holding her fine heavy weapon, which we have seen once before, and I described it as a polearm. And she looks up at it and goes, "Oh, I see." And in this moment, both she and the readers realize that this fine heavy weapon that was destined for her, it's not a polearm at all. It's a giant ankus. It's an elephant goad. Fuck you, elephant.
Yes! Incredible!
Yep. I'm taming it.
Yeah, I think, as you say, fuck you, elephant. Again, both you and Miraz, after
I'm not saying that in character. I'm just, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just you hear you hold the goad and the elephant just says, "A worthy opponent."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will stare it down with mild confusion because I'm still not sure what's going on. But
Nope. I will say that because you rolled a complete failure, that the magnitude of that failure kind of means that these two lovers are not really going to be a problem anymore. They are definitely going to break up. They're both going to be very sad. Karishma's going to be looking for her pirate paramour for the rest of her life, and is not likely to find him unless Augustus Khan appears in her life.
Okay. Sad for them, but as Vickers stares down the elephant smoke demon as I guess it starts to dissipate, unless it sticks around, you tell me, Tree.
Oh no, it's gone. It's not gonna the whole point of it is that you don't know when it's there and when it's not there. So it deposits you. It flies away in that it gives you the impression of Team Rocket blasting away. So it leaps into the air and continues to go into a distance where you can no longer see it. But it's a demon, so just because it did that doesn't mean it's not paying attention.
Okay, sure. Then I think a hand rests on Vickers' elephant goad, and Miraz's hand slowly lowers it. And Miraz is looking at Vickers, but with this very serene, calm, kindly expression on his face. And he says, "You had a question that you addressed to this one. Unfortunately, he cannot answer you."
Oh, yes. Yes, it's been made quite clear to me through that trip through the past or the future or whatever this is. Listen, I don't claim to understand the Chakraborty's magics. I don't claim to understand the worlds beyond this one, the 1,000 possible futures. But I do understand that you have been free riding. And I must say that is awfully rude of you.
Are you referring to the current shrine builder as Dr. Danger?
I think I'm understanding now that Miraz has been on some level possessed. I think it's just a logical consequence of having been snatched to this time-traveling future.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait, hang on. What? Am I misremembering? I thought Miraz kissed Karishma as Miraz, not as
He
our
did.
friend
He
here.
did.
Yeah.
Vickers does not perfectly understand what is happening, but she's now understanding why Miraz has had an identity crisis.
Okay. Also, while I'm talking, what's the fastest way a bus can get to the temple? Because I need a bus to admonish his nephew, one for leaving him behind, and
Yeah.
then to find out what happened, and then
Uh-huh.
talk about family
Yes.
values.
Yes.
I will, before we get back to the conversation, briefly answer you, which is that the fastest way, if you want it to be, because Kshitijpur is the horizon place, it is the highest part of Uduwasha, which means that you can, if you really want, get your friend Sheikh Abdullah to arrange some kind of hang glider taxi.
Yeah, all right.
There's also a
Great.
direct route called Posey Promenade, but we don't have to deal with that for now.
Mhm.
But when you can fuck around with hang glider taxis.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Oh, just for fun. We don't have to dwell on this unless we actually want to. I think the hang glider taxi man is my good friend, Bahadur Badur.
Yes, he is your good friend Bahadur Badur. Sorry, I didn't want to go into it, but the reason I got this idea is that I was looking at your sheet. And I was like, oh my god, we never brought him up all season. But it is Bahadur Badur, who knows the Sheikh, of course, and he's flying you. So at some appropriate moment, the Abbas is literally going to be deposited on the temple roof. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah.
But meanwhile, then, if it's okay for us to continue.
Yeah, just let me know when I can, or maybe I'll just come in at some point.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you have accused the Shrine Builder of free riding, and I
Yeah.
think Shrine Builder looks at you and then nods and says, I understand that you are upset. It is natural to be upset. But the hard truth of the matter is that it is not a matter of agency. We are not choosing to, as you say, free ride. Past, future, and present all intermixed together in ways that the living cannot understand, have in this one broken apart. And we, at the same time, are him. He is me. He is all the multitudes that I have been and will be.
Oh yes, I perfectly well understand that. Now, thank you. The elephant ride clarified some things for me. I'm talking to you because I need you to shape up. I do understand on some level you are the same as Miraz. I do understand that your identities float together. But throughout all of these lifetimes, you've never been able to keep Meta straight, and I really need you to shape up now. And I would like to get my husband back. Thank you very much. Do you remember who I am, Shrine Builder?
You are Vulture, and in this life, you are my lover. It has not always been this way, and will not always be this way, but you have always been important. I know you well.
Yes, well, you should know me well. Where there is a builder, there must be a destroyer. And that is who Vickers is.
Yeah.
Yes!
Angel of Death.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A+.
It is so, Angel of Death, the one who brings the flood. Sometimes a flood of water, of oil, and of blood. But
Jesus.
now you wish me to shape up. I can shape up. But I cannot say that the one who will next ride this body, they may not shape up. I do not have this power.
Nonsense! I tell you right now, snap out of it! And I will slap you across the face and slap you back to your senses.
How dare you! A new one says.
Mhm.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I think Vickers is a little perturbed and he goes, no, that's not the one, and slaps you again. It may take some time to get the right one out of you.
Vickers, what are you doing? I'm sorry. I was just being Dr. Danger.
Yes, here we go. Are you back to being Miraz now?
Yes. Yes. Yes, I'm not Dr. Danger anymore.
All right.
So
Yes. It seems you've been having somewhat of an identity crisis, and we really ought to have that looked at. But I think Uncle Abbas will be the best to set matters straight. I think I finally have an understanding of what's happening. Oh, look, there he is now. By hang glider, how convenient.
I mean, yes. No, the Doctor Danger thing. I don't know. It's past. We don't have to bring it up again. I'm sorry that happened. We don't have to. Please don't bring Uncle Abbas into me being Doctor. And Miraz has no idea what's actually going on. He just
Yeah, I
thinks
know.
the conversation about him being Doctor Danger.
I know. But I think Vickers will look up as Abbas comes flying into the hang glider taxi.
Are you outdoors so Buzz can just very
Yes.
seamlessly?
Yes,
just-
I think so.
Yes, we're on the roof.
All right, just as Bahadur comes, close to the ground, Buzz just hops off, says, oh, yeah, "All right," and then he goes, "Miraz, if you're going to catch a flying elephant taxi, you could at least let me know. We're always like this."
Bahadur, how are you? And he just goes towards Bahadur, hoping to engage with Bahadur, and not engage with his uncle.
I think, unfortunately, his passenger has already given him the lecture that not the lecture, but the preview. So Bahadur says, Miraz, it's so nice to see you. We should definitely get coffee sometime. Vickers, oh my God, I haven't seen you since the wedding. It's so nice. Anyway, have to rush. So funny, so sorry.
Get back here, you goddamn coward!
Yeah.
Yeah. I chase after him as he flies away.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah, you don't get very far.
Then I will turn towards Abbas and I will say, Uncle Abbas, have you noticed that Miraz has been acting strange lately?
Yes, I mean, he has been acting a bit strange. I mean, at first I thought that finally he was coming around. He seemed so, he was so welcoming of my suggestions, but I think Abbas can see, there's a look of where, he can tell from Vickers' face that something's not right. Miraz, what did you do? What did you do to her? What?
Sorry?
Look at her face. What have you done? Vickers, Ma, just tell me what's going on here.
And he just he has no idea what to say anyway. So
I think Vickers says what is going on here. I think is some intervention by His Majesty. This seems to have happened the day he left us in that cave. I really should like a word with him again.
I mean, the trouble is there's no other word for it. He's buggered off.
Yes, and he's left an awful mess behind, I should say. Now, isn't it the duty of a deity to take care of its temple on some level at least? Oughtn't we do something about it?
And then,
wait, what are you two talking about? This isn't about Dr. Danger, is it?
No, Miraz, darling, I'm so sorry. You've been so confused. Really, His Majesty the Snake has been so unkind to you and really left you in an awful state. And I don't even know if it's anything that Amitabh's medicines could fix. And Vickers starts to come apart again.
Oh, and then he kind of rushes forward and takes her in his arms. And I think Miraz's natural response at this moment is to be yes, my wife is falling apart. And of course, he's obviously heartbroken. He's actually sympathetic, but he's also, in a sense, slightly gleeful because now he has an excuse to take you away and leave the scene.
Yeah.
And no longer have this awkward conversation.
No, you do not, because Abbas, as your uncle, is going to make things much worse for you by going.
No.
Miraz, you find your father and I and your mother, we've all been so worried about you finding a nice girl, and then you go off to Akaros. You leave us all worried. You finally come back with a nice girl, and look where this is how you're treating her. Have we taught you nothing about the value of family?
You are doing serious psychic damage to me. I want you to know this.
Yes.
It can always get worse. Where's my dad?
Yes. I was about to say, Vickers is saying, I think the only person who can set this straight properly is Zajjidan. He's known His Majesty the longest.
Yep. I think on this cue, unfortunately for you, Zajjidan will not come out. Padmamukhi will come out.
Mm-hmm.
And you're on the roof, right? So Zajjidan can't climb his way up to the roof. So Padmamukhi comes up and looks at all of you and says, what's all of this ruckus? There's an elephant. Then I told you we don't hang gliding taxis can't use our roof as a launch pad, Abbas. You keep doing this. And then she sees that, you're all in a bit of a state, and she says, Was this one more of your damn fool missions, quests, operations?
Wait.
That's what you've been doing, is it?
Wait, so is Zajjidan's come up, or is this what?
No, this is Padmamukhi. Yeah, this is Padmamukhi.
How dare she talk to me like that?
Indeed. How dare she indeed? You should
In fact,
do something about it.
which is what Abbas says. Like, Padmamukhi, you forget yourself. And Abbas, like, Abbas is in his own head now, right? Like he's blown up.
Yeah,
Lord Skurlock. He's an untouchable
yup,
man.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. And I think Padmamukhi just says, while you've all been doing whatever it is you've been doing, Padmapriya and I have been trying to ensure that Zajjidan does not sacrifice himself in order to bring His Majesty back.
Oh no, is he still on that?
Of course, he's still on that. Zajjidan is not a man who would let go of his strongly held beliefs. He's been trying to find some way to wriggle out of whatever it is you told him. He's been trying to find a loophole. There is no loophole. And then I think like the way that she's saying it, you get the feeling that like this is a conversation she's had a lot of times with Zajjidan. So you're already getting like the I'm really annoyed about this version, right? But she's just a bit like you have to pay more attention to him.
All right.
You can't be carrying off doing whatever it is you're doing.
Please, that's enough. That's enough. And he is like holding his hand up, and he's like, with one hand he's like holding onto Vickers, and then the other he was like waving it, and now he's like squeezing his temples, and he turns to Abbas and says, "I don't know what's going on, but let's talk to His Majesty. We have to find him. We have to figure something out. Like, that's the only way, right? That's the only way. I don't want to be the head priest anymore. You can be the head priest as far as I'm concerned, Uncle. I don't care anymore. I just want to go back to Akaros. Maybe that's the right thing to do. We should just go back to Dustwall, Vickers and I. That's probably the best. But we can't just do that because my father is going to try to sacrifice himself to bring the snake. We have to talk to the snake. And if there's something wrong with me, I don't know. Like you say that there is, then maybe the snake knows what's going on with that as well. We have to talk to him. That's the only thing, right?
I do think we have to have a chat. We can agree about that at least.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, let's not be. I think Abbas would want Miraz to go away because he's actually quite fond of his nephew in his own weird way. So like, no, I mean, look, there's no need for that. I'm only saying that if whatever you just need to be more mindful of yourself. That's all I'm saying.
But I don't know what that means. And yes, now that you mention it, it's right. I remember now. I think I told Joan about it. I've been forgetting things. But how can I change something? I don't know how it's happening. I can't just be more mindful. I can't just make myself get better. It's not like wearing less green. You can just decide to wear less green. Does that make sense?
Vickers slowly exhales and she says, Miraz, it's not about something you are doing. It's about something you have to stop doing. Ever since you came here, you've been constantly fighting with yourself. Please just accept who you are. That's all I want.
Yes, and I think the answer to that is that I can't be here anymore. This isn't who I am. I'm not the high priest. The snake decided I am, but it's not me. It never should have been. I just don't care.
No, you're right. That isn't you. What you are is a brilliant builder. Someone who wants to make a better future for people, genuinely. Now, you can do that here or you can do it in Duskwall. But I ask you that you please try to embrace that and understand what it actually means. Now come, let's have a word with your father.
Mm-hmm. Miraz is perfectly happy to be led because he has no idea what's going on anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is kind of a silly statement, but guys, have we been telling a tragedy this whole time?
Uh-huh.
No. We have been
Okay.
many scores, we have a lot of coin, we have many special abilities. Everything's going great.
Yes, good. I'm glad that you cleared that up for me. Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Number go up. That's a good thing.
Yes, number go up. That is the key
Uh-huh.
thing. You are right. I was gonna say something, and then my brain destroyed. Yes, Zajjidan. So I think you will find Zajjidan again in the library. I think he is reading, like he's got like a couple of tomes. It's like a fairly eclectic mixture. There's some poetry in there. There's some Akarosi like theory about electroplasm. There is like some of the standard like textbooks, the hymn books for the temple, and there is Padmapriya, who has never looked like this, but she is annoyed and bored because it is clear that like this man has been attempting to square the circle now for a while, and it's not going to happen. But he refuses to accept this. So I think even she's just getting a bit like, "Come on," and he's just like muttering to himself and like, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I think Miraz is just happy that there's no obvious knife around.
Yeah.
No, I mean you can only do that in the Sanctum Sanctorum. Otherwise, it doesn't count.
I think he's too ashamed to actually begin the scene, so someone else should.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Vickers steps forth and she says, I'm sorry to intrude, but are you aware of what His Majesty has done to your son? I think that's how I open this conversation.
Wow. I mean, that's strong. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Jesus. How is he gonna react to? Sorry, let's give me a second while I think.
Uh-huh.
What His Majesty has done to my son. And I know we have been very lax about this, but the proper term is the eternal one. We have been very
Yes.
we have been very loose.
What I mean to say is that ever since the Eternal One became cross with us, something of the Eternal has apparently leaked into Miraz's mind, and it's gotten him all discombobulated.
And I think he looks at Miraz and says, is this true? You've been seeing something of the infinite? Of the wheel?
I don't know.
What is I don't know, Miraz? Come on.
I just don't know. I don't remember things.
I can jump in to help you out, Miraz. It's just look, at first I thought that Miraz had finally come to his senses, but he has shown a suspicious level of agreeing with me.
Yes, that doesn't sound right. I grant you, but I don't know about seeing the infinite.
It's the shrine builder, Vickers says, I think, making it clear to both Abbas and Zajjidan what is going on. Because it was established that Abbas kind of knows about this a little, so...
Yeah, I think you should know. You should tell me, Abbas, what the traditional doctrine on the shrine builder is.
I mean, based on what we've seen of the Shrine Builder and its numerous incarnations, it seems to be this entity is trying to promote the temple, but I don't know, it seems almost like an external figure, like it's something that's splintered off from the the mainstream. Like I don't think it doesn't seem like the Shrine Builder is kind of like like a chosen one kind of thing where everyone's waiting for it. It seems almost like like something that you almost fear. Like, oh, when the Shrine Builder comes, like the temple's agenda will be moved forward, but it might not go very well, right? Like this guy's a bit touched in the head sometimes.
This seems like a big, terrible, yes, but great moment, right? Like that, like things always happen around the Shrine Builder, but like there is no accounting for taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that Zajjidan looks at Miraz and says, "It is true. You have felt the Shrine Builder in you."
I don't even know who that. And then he kind of slumps forward, and then he looks up again.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
I feel that it is much easier if I take control at the moment. Yes, I am here. We are here.
And I think Padmapriya and Padmamukhi both make a sign of like what in our world would be like crossing yourself or something, right? Like something like I don't know what this would be, but something which is like, oh, I hope the Eternal One smiles on us or whatever, like save us from this.
Mhm.
Like more as a reflex than as a genuine like fear.
Mhm.
Um,
And Shrine smiles and nods
And-
at them and says, "Yes, it is good that some understand."
And I think in this case, Zajjidan does not do that. I think instead, Zajjidan, he tilts his head as if trying to recall something. And then he says a poem that I think you recognize because it is a very old poem reputed to be like composed by one of the shrine builders. And this is basically his way of like, I need to check that it's you and not, for example, a demon who has possessed my son, because that is a thing that can happen, right? I did not have anything prepared, so just give me 1 sec.
I think as Zajjidan recites a poem, Shrine Builder just nods and finishes the couplet by saying, "We can only build the most modest of temples when all we have is moonlight."
Yeah, so I think so let's work backwards. Maybe he says something like, I have seen my cathedral shining in the sun. And then you say, but we can only build the most modest of temples when all we have is moonlight, right?
Yeah.
And when you've completed, he says, I did not think that my own son would be... I did not think it would happen to you, my son.
Is it because you were passed over for this honor?
It is not an honor to have yourself be stolen away, as has happened to my boy.
Tools come in many forms.
And when one's own child has a blade in his hands, I have no choice but to weep. And you can see that he is actually like welling up now, because I think it's kind of dawning on him that he's connecting this also, as Vickers just did, to the fact that the snake turned away, right? And it is obviously a time of great upheaval. And he says, I suppose nothing will persuade the Eternal One to return. My will is nothing compared to one such as you, I suppose.
Shrine Builder gives a smile and I think sits down and looks at everyone. And like Shrine Builder's like just acting as though like they own the room. And I suppose in some capacity they probably do.
In some ways, yes, yeah.
Looks at everyone and says, I see here the vulture. I see the hierophant. And I see you, who has no name that rings eternally. Your role merely to father this one. And I see two acolytes who wish to become the serpent. How foolish. And you speak to me as though I know what the serpent desires, as though the serpent itself were your god. But the serpent is no god. The serpent is merely the serpent. The hierophant speaks for the serpent.
Yeah.
Vickers sighs slowly again as he sees this, and she says, well, I can hardly claim to know you that well, but I suppose if you have a flaw, it's the arrogance of it all. And really, you're exhibiting it right now.
Mm-hmm. And Shrine Builder kind of spreads Miraz's hands and says, it is tedious for me to be in this room now, to do this, when I could be out there right now, building, remaking, reshaping this travesty of a temple that now exists. But it was more tedious for me by far to listen to this one attempt to understand those things that are plain to everyone in the room but himself. And thus I am here. If you have questions, I can answer. Far better than this one can. He knows nothing.
Oh,
I think
no.
Zajjidan will say,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, you go for it.
Uh-huh,
Yeah. We're both, I think, like,
Yeah.
it's the same impulse. So you do it or I do, but like one of us will do it.
Uh-huh.
it's not a problem.
Yeah. Vickers says, Oh, he understands plenty. He just has the same flaw of you of overestimating the importance of building, of monuments. Tell me, Shrine Builder, who are you building for? And I think at this moment I just throw the elephant goat that I've been carrying. Like it clatters to the ground as I say this.
Nice.
Who do I build for? I build for the future, as I always have done. I build for the Eternal One. The Eternal One. The Chakrabarti. The spinning wheel of fate. Whose aspect is the serpent? While you have confused avatar for God. Expression. A mere shadow of all the God can be for the God itself. And I have built for his glory.
It's you who have it precisely backwards as usual. You talk about building for gods, for futures, for grand principles. All of this comes down to people. That was always your flaw. There was always something you never understood. I stare straight into the Shrine Builder's eyes.
Mm-hmm. I think Shrine Builder just gives a sort of smirk and just kind of leans back.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, doesn't say anything much more.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of looks around to see, what other people are
Yeah.
going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think while actually wait, I want to give Abbas a chance to respond before I do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Abbas gets his position himself next to Vickers and like not very vigorously. Like, yeah, that.
It seems truly that this generation of aspects, myself included, are highly unremarkable. This is the least erudite hierophant I have seen. And Vulture, where are your million legions? All you have are some people who tape feathers on their backs and run around after balls on rooftops.
Miraz, did you just call me the least erudite?
Yes.
Like you, like why? Like, is this the son you have raised? Like he's talking to be like this in front of everyone.
Yeah, I think I mean Zajjidan's been doing something in the background, so if you point at him, it will happen. But if you don't point at him, I won't put it on camera yet. So if you want to do something before that, you should do it now.
I was gonna wag his finger very, very angrily at us. Like, I look, Shrine Builder or not, you will talk to me with respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I will sit down, I think, in front of the Shrine Builder. And I will take Miraz's hand and look into his eyes. And Vickers is going through so many emotions right now. She's angry, she is sad, but she is kind of understanding it. And she says, "Is that truly all you care about? Glory?"
And Shrine Builder looks at you and then says, "Glory? No. I have said, I care for the future. If you find me too harsh, then perhaps you should have spoken more kindly and more understandingly to the more softly spoken aspect that arose a while ago to speak through this one's mouth."
Yes, perhaps I should have.
My hold over this one at the moment is weakening, and very soon I will fade away, and he will assume my place once more. And once more he will look at you, confused, not understanding what is happening. You will have questions for him that he will not be able to answer. And so it shall go.
Yeah, I think Zajjidan will interrupt exactly there. And I think in front of him is a candle. And it's the last, I think, of the wax candles that, what's his name, Abbas was using to do that ritual, right? And he looks straight into your eyes, into this aspect of the Shrine Builder's eyes. And he says, he will not be confused, because he will be among those who love him. And he blows the candle out. And as he blows the candle out, two things will happen. And the first is that while you are in his presence, Miraz, the Shrine Builder will not be allowed to take control of you. And this is whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing that happens is that he is going to crumple to the floor. And he's not dead, but he is passed out and will remain passed out. And in this case, I think it is that he has understood that a lot of like the things that he has been saying or doing over the last few months has been like he has not understood what you've been going through. And if there is one thing that he can do now, it is to protect you and give you that ability to feel safe. So, and like, even though, you know, the shrine builder, and he's not wrong, like Zajjidan is not like a named NPC in that way, right? All he is like a high priest of the temple for the last 70 years, and he's come across like any number of things, right? And I should mention for the audience that like I rolled 3 dice for him and he rolled a 6 to see like how he was going to respond. And I mean, he rolled a 6. So what he wanted to do, he succeeded at doing.
Yep, for sure.
Which was to protect his son.
Yeah. And I think as he lights this candle and invokes this ward, I will say one more line to the shrine builder before he disappears, if you don't mind. And I'll say, yes, I do remember your arrogance, always for the big things. Shrine builder, every blaze begins with a candle.
Nice.
And then Mira says, what did you call me? Candles, father? And then he kind of rushes forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, which is the correct response. And all of you, I presume, we can cut the scene kind of here, right? That like all of you converge on him, and the camera cuts away. And I think this is partially also a consequence of the fact that he is ill. I suspect that if he wasn't ill, he would be able to do this and then come back from it, like whatever, right? But like, it's so many things kind of acting at once. That's like,
Yeah, I think he is ill, and we will see what comes of it. But I think now that Vickers is aware that she is the angel of death, for real, I think he may start to see how this is coming together. I decided that Vickers' trauma, seeing all of this, she has just realized what is going on now. That's just her trauma. So I marked it down as haunted.
Yeah.
And now she just has access to her past lives, but in a good/bad way.
Yeah, I think it's the opposite of the way that I normally think about haunted, which is everything that I do is colored by this. But for you, it's more like everything that you do is no longer bound by like the place where you are. You see everything so much more clearly, even if you would prefer not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Zoheb, I hope it's okay, but it really felt to me like there was no way that like this man was going to let his son be in that position if he could do literally anything about it, and he really could.
This is the ideal outcome.
Yeah. Like I said, I realized we were playing a tragedy, and then I was like, okay, then I better lean in.
I don't like being shrine builder. He's annoying. She's annoying. They are annoying.
Yes.
Yep.
I think we need a check-in after that scene. That was a pretty intense scene. Everyone doing okay?
Yeah, no, it was an intense scene, and I'm glad that you checked, because I think I'm going to go get some water, because he was a lot. Like,
that was a wild scene.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah.
Vickers changed so much in such a short time. I hope you don't mind me stepping into the role of her as the destroyer, but I felt like
you should.
It was a good transition. I'm kind of tired of Vickers not understanding what is going on with Miraz, so I just went a 180, and now she understands everything, for better or worse.
That was pretty. That was pretty badass.
Yes, the asses were indeed bad. Whereas Miraz, I don't know. I think probably out of character, someone sits Miraz down and tells him what was happening.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like Vickers will inform him of it.
Yeah. I hope also Aadiyat, you were okay.
Yeah. I do wonder though, like, is Abbas too jokey? Like in terms of like, I don't know.
I think it worked really well. Like this is an intense family scene, but it also makes sense for Abbas to be outraged at everything that's going on. I think it's logical that he's just a person who processes things through anger. So
But I think Abbas's reaction to Miraz and like all this makes sense. But I wonder if
Mhm.
tend to maybe undercut the seriousness too much with humor.
No, it's perfectly fine.
No?
I was worried on the opposite end that I'd gone too highfalutin with Vickers,
Alright.
so I think we balanced each other out nicely.
All right, okay, so good.
I hope I wasn't too highfalutin as Vickers. I hope that like
No, you were
played
not.
well.
You were
Yeah.
perfectly fine. It was like, fine. Okay, time to get serious.
Yeah.
It was well timed. It was very well timed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hope the Shrine Builder stuff was also okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool. I hate the guy, but this
Various Shrine Builders.
yes. But you know, it makes sense that we have a stormy relationship, but with one being the builder and the other being the destroyer. This
Yeah,
is-
makes sense. Yeah. So what do we do now?
yeah, where do we go from here?
Yes.
What the hell?
Where do we go from here? So let's zoom out a bit.
Oh, we haven't done payoff. We have not done payoff.
We have not done payoff. Jesus. Okay. Yeah.
And so blows out our brief candle. I named the disciples of the Ceaseless Temple thus, with both their given names and taken. Soumithri, called Tree. Zoheb, called Klow. Prince, Emma, and Aadiyat, called Soap. Intro music, Jalandhar by Kevin MacLeod. Outro music in Keeravani Ragam by Srinivas. Blades in the Dark by John Harper and Evil Hat Productions. Iruvian playbooks by Johnstone Metzger. Follow us at Desperate Attune on Twitter or email us at desperateattune@gmail.com. Support us at kofi.com/desperateattune.
And on the next episode of Desperate Attune,
I don't entirely understand this, but tell me if this is correct. He's not dead. He's just lacking enough spiritual energy to participate, as it were, to move his body to be back with us. Yes.
Broadly, yes. The specifics of this, you got all of them wrong. But as an analogy, the way that you should think about it is that the muscle that he needs in order to use his body was sprained when he did his ritual. And we need to heal the sprain by training it back up so that it can be used again.
What? Another analogy, I suppose. You know, in Akros they do blood transfusions. Can we do something like that with spiritual energy?
Oh, speaking out of character, I don't know. So yeah. So let's say that let's say it is possible, and I think what she will basically I think she will say it's possible, but well, there is no anesthetic for spiritual harvesting in this way, and well, most of what I would have been doing with him would have involved me giving up some of my energy in a way that I can control it, and so I know how much pain I'm able to take, so I can keep going. Now, someone, and I presume you are offering to do this, someone who is not well practiced in this, I won't lie to you, it is somewhat risky.
Yes. If there's one thing I don't have, it's a shortage of spiritual energy.